Welcome, everybody. This is Exploring Integrity Part 3. This is called the Invitation Conversation, and I will go into a little bit soon about why we call it the Invitation Conversation. So the first thing I want to do, just to kind of practice these skills today, I want to talk quickly about what this conversation is going to be about and what this conversation is not going to be about. And I just want to get everybody's consent to be able to proceed in this way. So some of you have had some conversations with each other offline since the last conversation, and I want to create an environment where you can feel free and safe to share, some of those conversations and about some of the conversations in your world as well. If it starts to get to the point where there's judgments or there are accusations, I would just like to have everybody's permission to pull you back because we're not into dissent yet. So if that is okay, if I have your consent to proceed, that this is about more of a self-evaluation than it is about judgments or accusations, just give me a thumbs up if that is okay. Uh, if it's safe enough to try and you're not sure, this is the sign for safe enough to try. And if there's a strong no and you wish to express some dissent, it's this. We don't really do thumbs down, although Kylie, if you need to do thumbs down on the emojis, that's fine. This means I have a gift. I have a gift to offer, and we want to give you the space to vocalize, whatever resistance is coming up for you. So I'm going to ask one more time. So yes, yes, maybe, or no. Okay, so yes, yes. Okay, I see Michelle. Okay, great. All right, then we will proceed. Thank you. Thank you for that. So we'll just do a check-in. How are you arriving and what are you bringing? So how are you arriving is really just the feeling that you have coming into tonight. And I try to break it down into four feelings: mad, sad, glad, fear, or shame. And then what are you bringing is just what is your intention for tonight? What would you like for yourself for tonight? So I'll go ahead and start. I'm feeling a little bit of joy. I'm feeling joy because you're all here, and I'm learning a lot just from conversing with all of you. I'm feeling a little bit of fear because there are some of us who are not going to be with us tonight, and I want to encourage them to watch this. So Nini's not here, but she will be watching the recording. And Lori is stepping away from the group, but I will still let her know that anytime she wants to view this or anytime she wants to, to engage in conversation again, that the door is always open. So there's a little fear around that. I want to be respectful and be able to explore these values and really keep it in the spirit of this is a safe space, a loving space, and we want everyone to feel welcome. And we're all working on our own stuff here. So that's what I want. That's what I want for myself is to work on my own stuff and to do that in an environment where we're all really supporting each other. And I'm in with that. And I'm going to pass it to Amy. How are you arriving and what are you bringing?
I'm in joy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm offering openness. That's basically, I'm open for a conversation.
Good.
I'm trying to stay in my lane. So,
We'll talk more about that today, that's for sure. Go ahead and pass it if you are complete.
oh, okay. Hey, Ray, go ahead.
Hi, I'm arriving feeling I'm obviously driving, so I'm a little distracted. Um, I am tired and very hungry. I'm fasting, so I have about 30 minutes and then you'll all be seeing me like eating and drinking.
That's fine.
Or 40. Um, so yeah, I'm happy to be here. I've been looking forward to our conversation.
Great.
I'll pass it to
Oh,
Okay. Hi. Thank you, Ray. I'm arriving a little bit of tension in my stomach.
mhm.
I don't know why. Just anticipation, wondering what's going to happen, but these always end up being really good. So there's no real big reason for that, I don't think. So I'm coming in open, and I've got my baby, my puppy next to me. So all is well. And I'll pass that on to Michelle.
Thank you, Beth. I'm arriving pretty happy. And I'm definitely offering openness to whatever the night holds for us all. I'll pass it along to Rebecca.
I'm arriving tired but good. And I'm bringing my attention and curiosity.
Great. Thank you, Becky. And I guess we'll pass it to Kylia.
I think I would say I'm arriving tired,
Mhm.
glad, and sad.
Mhm.
And I think I'm bringing curiosity.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm coming with curiosity for the conversation. Yeah.
Very good. Well, that's one of the values we will be talking about tonight is curiosity. So great. Thank you, Kylie. Are you complete?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So this is the invitation conversation. What that means is I've already extended the first invitation at the top of this conversation, and I'm going to have another invitation at the end of this conversation. But what we're doing here, what the purpose of tonight is to really start to put in parameters, put down boundaries about how we are agreeing to, to treat each other, how we are agreeing to create this culture. So it's the invitation conversation. So we've been through giving each other attention, deepening our awareness of each other. And now we're going to start to really think about what are those parameters, because some of you have experienced dissent already, and we're jumping ahead. So we're going to pull it back into into the thinking and really really clarifying what these values mean to us, and to be able to align or to be able to express differences. So in the realm of the kairotic flow, what's happening here is this is kind of like the town planning phase where based on our possibility conversation last month, I started taking, some of the actions and the intentions and the initiatives that you all mentioned last month. Today we're vetting the values, and I'm going to start to build a matrix out of that. I've already started building that. I'm going to show it to you at the end of the conversation tonight. And yeah, so we are going to really just work on, consent, dissent, or, let's have a little bit of a conversation about this. So we're going to be working that. And what I'm going to be doing is when I ask you to respond, yes, safe enough to try, or no, I'm going to be recording those responses because that's all going to be information that I plug into our decision-making matrix and how we, how we are going to decide to move forward together. So there's 19 values that have been brought up by a few of us. And what I would like to ask everyone as we go through each of these, as I name them off one at a time, and hopefully we can do this in the next hour and a half, one person can jump in and say or explain what the value means to you. And then what I'm going to ask everybody is based on what you heard this person describing this value as, do you feel like it's easy to practice that value? I still need a little bit of work on it, or, oh, this is really, I do need to, to be very conscious of this. So we're gonna try it out here with the first value that I have listed, and that is accountability. Accountability. So would somebody like to jump in, or I can jump in on this one first, but I'd like to give everybody a chance to kind of weigh in on what does the value mean to you. So when you hear accountability, what does that mean to you? Kylie, I see you clapping. Do you want to speak to that?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So what does accountability mean to you?
It means basically being held to either the promises or statements or things that you've said
Mhm.
in a loving and compassionate and curious way that
Mhm.
invites like deeper community and connection.
Okay. Okay, great. So holding yourself accountable for what you say or what is being expressed. So
Mhm.
based on what Kylia said about accountability, for you personally, do you feel that's easy for you to live up to? Is there still a little struggle with that, or is there some, some strong resistance to that, hearing that definition of accountability? So I'll go ahead and ask you to weigh in, yes, maybe, or no. And if there's any no's or maybe, we'll have a chance to discuss that a little bit. So based on what you said, Kylie, I think that I'm pretty aligned with that. I try to do what I say I'm going to do. I do know that there is confusion as far as definitions sometimes, but as far as following through with what I'm saying I'm going to do, I do feel like that I'm aligned with that. And again, just asking you to all kind of look at yourselves honestly, and if you want to speak to Kylia's definition of accountability, you can convene. I'm not sure, or give me a resistance. Yes, Amy, go ahead.
Okay, so I hate saying that I feel like I've mastered something
Mhm.
because I think there's always somewhere we can improve.
Yeah.
So I guess I want understanding about what you mean for like, yes, I feel like um, I don't like that verbiage. In other
Yeah.
words, I really don't care for that verbiage because of course I'm trying my best on everything. So would it be
Mhm.
a flat board trying, or
Mhm.
do I actually feel I'm good at that? Or
Mhm.
how do you want us to answer that? I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely. So, so based on this discussion of accountability, do you feel like it's easy for you? It's something you're still working on, or
okay,
it's something that's really hard for you. So what I'm
okay,
hearing is, and I agree, because there's always something we can work on. And I as I was going down these values as well too, I was really vetting to myself, okay, let me be really, really honest with myself. Some of these I'm very much a two or very much a maybe. And I have one or two that's a hard, oh, I got to really work on that. So, yeah. Yep. So,
okay.
so what I'm hearing is it's something that accountability is something that you would like to work on, Amy. Does that sound correct?
Um, I think it's I think I am accountable of,
Hmm.
is it easy for me?
Hmm.
But of course, I want to keep on continuing. I have accountability takes structure.
Yep.
It has to be a mindset.
Yep.
So I'm always continually working on it. Does
Yep.
that make sense?
Absolutely.
I
Hmm.
don't feel comfortable saying, yeah, I got that. It's
Yeah.
easy for me because I mean, I constantly have to work on it.
Yeah. Yeah. It takes an
But
effort. Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I think I have to work on, like I'm not, I'm working hard at it. It's not, it's a conscious effort
Yes.
to hold myself accountable.
Yes. Hmm.
Does that make sense? I hope so.
Definitely. Definitely. Would anyone else like to speak to that?
I'd like to add a little something.
Go for it.
Amy, I totally get what you're saying. Um, Now, Mike, you tell me if I'm wrong. What
Mhm.
I'm getting is that from what Kylie has said, do we think we can do that relatively easily? Or is that like, no, not really? It's not to say we're perfect at being accountable or any of these other things, but just, yeah, I can handle that. Or, yeah, in my experience, I feel I've done all right with that or whatever. But like, again, not perfect, not, oh, I don't have to work on that, because Amy, you're right. We all have to work on stuff, but we're not aiming for perfection here, because you're gonna fail. I like to go for excellence over perfection. That's just me. I think it's being perfect is too hard. And I'm a recovering perfectionist. So there.
Yeah, what comes up for me around it too is being honest with yourself. So you know, what came up for me around what accountability is being honest with yourself. And that's something I am constantly working on, which is why I feel comfortable in saying I'm a yes for accountability.
Okay.
All right, so we'll go ahead and call for a vote quickly. Accountability. Do you feel like it's easy, something you're working on, or something that's really hard for you? So let's show the hands. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And where are you at, Ray? Okay, great. Okay, great. Got it. Okay. All right. Next one, authenticity. Authenticity. Who would like to take authenticity and just briefly explain what does that mean to you?
Ooh, I will.
Go for it, Beth.
Me, authenticity means what you see is what you get.
Mhm.
People often tell me that I'm authentic, which I consider a real compliment. I think it means to be honest, to be transparent,
Mhm.
and not hide from yourself. Yeah. Someone wants to add to the definition, that would be okay with me.
Yeah, yeah. Would anyone like to speak to that? Yeah, one of the things I've been really thinking and reflecting on as well too is the difference between authenticity and transparency as well. Because with this one, I'm still trying to decide what really is the finer distinctions between it. So, for instance, with transparency, what comes up for me, that one seemed a little bit more of a struggle for me because there's some things that, like with some of the conversations I've had, you know, with some of these group members, even offline, you know, I have to really kind of filter myself as to, okay, what is just going to cause more friction if I'm completely transparent, or what can I say and still be authentic? So I feel like for me, authenticity is still being able to, to be honoring, to be able to be in appreciation, where I associate transparency more with, ooh, okay, these are the hiccups that are coming up. This is some of the dissent, and trying to judge for myself what is appropriate to share and what is not quite appropriate to share is a struggle for me. So that's why I feel like with authenticity, I feel like I'm in appreciation. So I gave myself a yes for that. But when we get to transparency, I'm going to give myself more of a 2, more of a I'm not quite sure. So yeah, so that's what comes up for me around authenticity. Yes, Amy.
So I see a difference in, okay, so transparency is somebody who's taking accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm.
And authenticness is just being. There's no
Okay.
accountability or anything like that. But if you're transparent, you're using your authentic self to be transparent and taking accountability at the same time. That's
Mm.
what
Okay.
I take
Okay.
if that helps you any.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So what I'm hearing, authenticity is, just being. Transparency is about maybe taking accountability.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Would anyone like to speak more on that, or respond to that?
Um, yeah.
Go ahead,
I
Kylie.
I think that with authenticity, it's kind of like you are just in this state where you are who you are. You're not trying to like put on a mask or like intentionally be something or do something else,
Mm.
to be more, say, tangible or likable or palpable or whatever it is. You are just who you are. Whereas with transparency, I think there is an element of being intentionally non-transparent, but it's not necessarily negative. It
Mhm.
is that you understand that in that situation, the best thing that you can do is not be transparent about a certain thing
Mhm.
because it isn't going to help or add value to
Right.
whatever is going on. And so for me, with like the intentional non-transparency, what you're doing is then intentionally not causing more harm,
Right.
not creating a situation for harm.
Right.
So I personally think that, yeah, transparency and authenticity aren't the same thing,
Mhm.
because I also don't believe that you have to show your authentic self to everyone. Like,
Mhm.
not everyone needs to have access to that.
Right.
It is okay to not give that to people who may not necessarily understand or respect it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So why don't we do both authenticity and transparency then? So authenticity, do you feel like it's something that's easy for you, still something you're working on, or something that's still, hard work? So we're looking at authenticity first. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That might be like middle ground for me.
Okay. And Michelle?
Apologies. Could you
Uh,
repeat that?
yes, authenticity based on what we're landing on as far as what authenticity
Yes.
means to us. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
you're a yes. Okay. All right. So times 6 is 18 plus 2 is 20. Great. All right. All right. Then transparency. Let's go to transparency. Now, is transparency something that's easy for you? Still something you're working on, or a hard? I'm still really struggling with it. I'm a 2 on that one. I'll still stay a 2 on that one. Or is 3.
Too.
Kylie, you're a 2. Or I'm sorry, you're a maybe.
Yes, I'm a maybe.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see them up again. Let's see the hands again so I can count them.
Michael, can you?
Yeah.
I'm just not quite sure what we're saying, that we are comfortable being transparent in like situations where that's needed, or like we just feel comfortable with transparency always, or if we like struggle to be transparent when we need to be, like when somebody's holding us accountable and we don't want to be transparent, so we maybe like lie or bend the truth or something. Like, to me,
Mm,
that would be like somebody who struggles with transparency.
mhm.
But I'm just wondering, like, because obviously there are times when it is better to not be transparent, so
Yeah.
this is confusing me because I'm like, it's
Mhm.
not a yes. That, like, a yes would be that I know when it's okay, when it's appropriate to be transparent, and when it's not.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, the
Is
way
that
I the way I interpret it, and yes, part of the reason why I'm on the fence with it as well too, because I'm confused about it too.
okay?
The way I interpret it is that I'm uncomfortable being completely transparent, especially when I know that complete honesty and complete truth is going to kind of compromise the relationship, the energy. So that's something I personally struggle with, which means that I feel like I'm being transparent in expressing my feelings around that, but I'm not comfortable with it. So that's how I because I'm experiencing some of the same confusion, right? Which is why I'm on the fence about
Okay. So I guess I'm on the fence too.
it. All right. All right, let's see them one more time so I can count them. Yeah, go ahead, Michelle. You have something to say? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of agree with you that I don't think it's a yes or no question.
Mhm.
I think, like you said earlier, Mike, there's gradations
Mhm.
of, like, where are the areas where you struggle with it. So I appreciated that you offered where you struggle with it. And what I'm trying to work through right now is, weighing and balancing, when is being transparent hurtful without a purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there going to be a greater good to come from it? Is it really going to make a difference? So then is it worth being transparent if it's going to be hurtful to other people? Yet, for me, I feel the soul journey is to move more into the authentic self and the expression of that. So I'm not sure that that's a yes or no. I'm not really sure how to answer that.
Yeah, then it's I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, one more time. One more time, then we'll get it. Let's see here. So 2, 4, 6, 12, 14, 16. Great, thank you. All right. Awareness. Awareness. Now, we also have emotional awareness on our list as well, too. So awareness is one of the ones that Nini offered. And hopefully I'll have that conversation with her after this conversation about what awareness means to her. But what does awareness mean to you? If anyone would like to take a stab at that.
I need clarification on that. I don't know
Yeah.
what you mean by it. I mean, I know spiritual awareness, what that means, but what are you guys inferring to
Yeah.
is half my battle.
Yeah. 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 I struggle. Yeah, go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead.
So I'll tell you what it means to me, although I also leave room for whatever it means to everybody else as well. So for me, emotional awareness is um, being able to, acknowledge and understand where my emotions are coming from, the level and the extent to which someone else is responsible for my emotions, as opposed to me understanding that my emotions come from within me. And then, how to process that. And in a way that's non-judgmental, but more exploratory for the purposes of me being able to be more accountable for my own emotions and understanding where they're coming from so that I don't project that unnecessarily onto other people. So emotional awareness is kind of like an ongoing everyday journey for me. And that's what it means to me. What are my emotions? Where are they coming from? Why are they what they are right now? And how does that determine how I interact in the world?
Yeah. 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 Kylie, you have your hand up.
So when I think of awareness, I really liked how Michelle described emotional awareness. I definitely resonate and like agree with that. But if we're gonna talk about awareness, just like a general concept, what I think of when I think of that is like what's happening in your surroundings, what's happening with the people around you, what's happening with the situation that you're in, like being aware of like, okay, so like I was at my mom's house today with my kid and I was paying attention to like what she was feeling, but then also like what was happening with my mom and like those different things. So it's kind of like tracking those different events and then like how that's relating to each other. And I think for me personally, like as a neurodivergent human being, I'm hyper aware of everything all the time because that is the only way that I'm safe.
Yeah.
So I think I can be over aware. Like sometimes I'm too aware and I pick up stuff I don't need to. And then I'm tired all the time because I'm always paying attention to things I don't actually need to. So that's how I would look at just like awareness in general.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ray. Yep.
I just want to add that a practical example that helps me understand what awareness is. It has to do with presence, but it also has to do with what Kylie was saying about being aware of the surroundings. So like if anybody has ever been with a friend or a partner or a roommate who just seems completely unaware that there are things that need to happen, that you are aware of, that they are somehow not aware of. This is like my favorite example of awareness. It's like knowing that the trash needs to be taken out, knowing that the dishes need to be cleaned, knowing that there's these things in your environment that you need to be aware of that need to happen or that are happening right now. Those are things that have to do with awareness. And I have had my share of like relationships with people who are unaware, who are just like generally not very good at being aware of what's happening and what needs to be done and those kinds of things. So that's how I differentiate too between the emotional awareness and the like regular awareness.
Very good. Very good. Yep. Yep. Being present to what's in the room. Yeah. Go ahead, Beth.
Question. To maybe add a little to what Ray said. Awareness makes me think of self-awareness. And being aware of what's going on in a room is like being able to read a room to, how are people feeling? What's the mood? Yeah, are you people happy? Are they talking, or are they super silent? If this is sort of where we're going with it, that is something I struggle with.
Okay.
I don't think I'm the most aware person out there, so
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure if that vibes into the definition or not, or if that's more of an emotional awareness kind of thing.
I think it does, Beth, because that's what's coming up for me too. Because we had our conversation last month, and some of you met one-on-one, and all kinds of things happened, and I wasn't aware of it until I was told about it. So I struggle with it too. So, and I'm liking where this clarifying of awareness is going in this conversation. So yeah. Yeah. Anyone else want to add anything to the conversation on awareness? And then we'll log the data on how, based on what we're saying, is awareness easy for you, something you're struggling with, or something you're really struggling with? Amy, did you have your hand up?
Well, I mean, awareness is outside yourself, right? You're basically saying, and emotional awareness is inside yourself. So you're also looking at both sides of the coin, right? That's my understanding.
That's what I'm getting out of this conversation. Okay. Yes.
All right. And I'm ready. I think I got it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So awareness.
I'm good. It comes 18.
15, and we're 2. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So then why don't we go to emotional awareness? Okay. So does anyone want to speak to emotional awareness? Emotional awareness?
Well, didn't Michelle?
Yep, she's got her thumb up. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17. Kylia, where are you at emotional awareness? Okay, thank you. All right, great. All right. So the next one, and Becky, I hope it's okay, since I want to be aware of what's in the room, and I want to invite you into the conversation. The next one is collaboration. Collaboration. What does collaboration mean? Becky, if I'd like to hear from you, but if you would like some time to think about that, I want to give you the time as well too. But would you like to speak to collaboration? What does collaboration mean to you?
The first thing that comes to mind is teamwork. Using different people's strengths and stuff coming together.
Yeah, being aware of each other's strengths and coming together. Collaboration. What comes up for me as well too is when you're honoring people's strength, everyone's kind of more on equal footing. It's not like power over, it's sharing power. That's what comes up for me with collaboration.
As a pastor, I have to do collaboration with my congregation. Well, back in the old days,
Mhm.
70s or 80s, whatever, the pastor was sort of expected to do everything, and the congregation just sat back. Now, especially in the United Church of Christ, it's very participatory kind of thing. So the pastor is expected to be the spiritual guide, but the consistory or leadership board is the one that actually runs the business of the church.
Mm.
Like in my consistory, I'm there and I can add to the conversation, but I don't vote.
Right. Mhm.
You know, and for me, it's delegating and letting people use their talents and gifts in my case in ministry, so that they can do things. And when you allow people to do their own thing, you're helping them to gain confidence
Mhm.
in who they are, and to be stronger in their faith. Whereas if the pastor just does everything, it's not good for the pastor and it's not good for the congregation.
Right.
And I've seen both sides of that, the micromanager type of pastor and the delegator. So to
Right.
me, collaboration means delegation.
Mhm. Mhm. Now, does that come easy for you, Beth?
Yes,
Okay.
it actually does. Because when I was in my former church, I had 10 years with the micromanager pastor, and I had 8 years with the delegator pastor.
Mhm.
And I could really see the difference. I've learned a lot. And I'm like, oh, I want to be the delegator.
Yeah.
I don't have the energy to be a micromanager.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's not healthy for the congregation
Right.
or for the pastor to do that. So yeah, I think I've got collaboration pretty good.
Okay. All right. Anyone else want to speak to collaboration before we take the vote? All right. So collaboration, is it easy for you? Something you're struggling with, or something you're really struggling with?
Okay, I got another question.
Okay, go for it, Amy.
Before we do it. So, are we basing on past experience or how easy it is that we feel that we do it? You know, just because I'm comfortable in doing it doesn't mean that I do it well, obviously, if I've had issues in the past
Mhm.
with that.
Yeah.
So that's my question.
Sure. I would say if you're wrestling with that, Amy, I would say the answer is still on the fence.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Kylia, go ahead.
Just to what Amy said, I would base it more off of how well you feel you can do it. Because
Okay.
if you've had issues doing it in the past, it's not necessarily about you. Because if
Okay.
somebody else you're trying to collaborate with isn't good at collaboration, you can be amazing and it can still be terrible. Right?
Yeah,
So
that's
it
very true.
really comes, and if we're evaluating it as like our value, like personal value, it
Uh-huh.
really comes down to how well do we think we can do whatever that thing is, regardless of how the other party reacts to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Gotcha.
Great. Excellent. All right. So if that is how you interpret collaboration, let's take that vote again. All right. So collaboration, is it something that you feel you do well, regardless of how the other other responds? Okay. And Becky is at okay, great. So we'll do 20 on that. All right.